Hi everybody, this is Walt Kennedy. I am the founder of Wealth Power Academy. And these days, every time you turn on the TV, you see people talking about the White House. They talk about who's in the White House, who should be in the White House, who shouldn't be in the White House. I'm here to tell you today that who is in the White House is not nearly as important as who is in your house, who's in my house. Who's in my house as far as finances are concerned. What's going on in my house as far as health is concerned. What's going on in my house as far as relationships are concerned. So when we started Wealth Power Academy, the main thing we wanted to do is focus on the three things that affect people the most, that cause people the most problems: money, health, and relationships. As we do that, I think you're going to be able to understand how these three things fit together. If you lose one or the other two don't matter that much. You have to have all three, money, health, and relationships, in order to feel secure. There's a fact in our society today that says that 5% of the people in this country control 95% of the wealth. Let me say that again. 5% of the people in this country control 95% of the wealth. If you look at the quote that was just above this video, it says you must learn the system and use the system to your advantage. The people that are in that 5%, they have learned the system and they have learned how to use the system to their advantage. The other question that probably you're asking yourself right now is, why should you listen to me? Why should you listen to Walt? Well, let me tell you a little bit about me. I was graduating from college in 1965. I was 20 years old at the time, so you can kind of figure out how old I was and how old I am now too. I was born in 1944. And when I graduated, there were several things that happened. But the main thing that I had remembered when I graduated was something my dad used to tell me. I was raised on a farm in northeast Texas. And my dad would drive me around the farm and he'd say, "Do you know why we're in the pickup and they're in the hot sun working?" And he'd always say, "Because I own the farm." So he taught me very early in life that I needed to work for myself instead of work for somebody else. So I've had 3 businesses that have done over $1 million a year. I did have a health issue back in 1992 that I overcame, and that was like over 25 years ago. And as far as relationships are concerned, I have a very happy marriage for years. I have 3 children, 4 grandchildren, and we get along great. Okay, everything's fine as far as the relationships are concerned. So I do have a little bit of information over the last 50 years that I might be able to share with you. So for the last half century, I have learned how to learn the system, use the system to my advantage. And there was a certain thing that I realized after my dad talked to me. There were certain things that I realized that I didn't want. They're here on the board. I didn't want these things, and I did want these things. What did I not want? I didn't want a job. A friend of mine calls a job the journey of the broke. What I wanted was to own my own business. I didn't want to work for a company where I got 1 to 3% raise every year. I wanted to have control of my own money. I wanted to have control of my own finances. I didn't want to sit in an office cubicle. I wanted to have wide open spaces. Since I was raised on a farm and a ranch, that was always very important to me. Time limitations. I wanted time freedom. It's amazing to me, as far as time is concerned, that people will allow someone to tell them what time they have to get up in the morning. I didn't want that. I didn't want somebody telling me what time I could go to lunch. I didn't want somebody telling me what time I could take a break. I didn't want somebody telling me when I could take a vacation. I didn't want somebody telling me when I could take sick leaves. But that's what's happening to most people today. Somebody else dictates their time to them. I didn't want to do the same thing over and over and over. I wanted to enjoy every day. And I sure didn't want to be a laid-off statistic. I wanted security. A friend of mine just got laid off at a major corporation here in town. He had worked for that corporation for years. But, things happened in the economy. The corporation began not to do so well. So they eliminated his whole division. But they were nice. Oh, they were real nice. They gave him a 3-month check for his termination. 3 months' salary for those years that he put in raising money for that corporation. I wanted to make sure that never happened to me. So I did not want to be a laid-off statistic. The key to it then is bottom line. My goal, and mine and Emily's goal, my wife, our goal in creating Wealth Power Academy is to help you. If you identify with any of the things we're talking about, do you identify with the things I didn't want? If you identify with the things I do want, to own a business, have time, have control of my finances, have security, not have to do the same thing every day. If you can identify with those things, then we're going to get along real well together. The next video you're going to see, and let me say this about the videos. The videos that we've put together are not sales videos. We're not trying to sell you something in these videos. These are learning videos. The whole concept of Wealth Power Academy is to be a learning system. And not even a training system, but a learning system where you really learn how to do something and then can take action on it, and that action create money, health, and relationships. But the next video is going to show you how the 5% use a system in order to generate that 95% of the wealth. And I think when you see that video, you're going to understand exactly why we created Wealth Power Academy and also why we feel that a system is so important for you to have.